All right, we've all been in that situation where the client doesn't have any clue about the look, or they just don't care. So what do you do in that instance? Majority of the time, people make the mistake of taking it upon themselves, not ask enough questions, cook up something, present it to the client, and the client absolutely hates it, okay? It happened to me when I was starting out as a colorist. So to avoid that, sit them down, keep it brief and simple, ask them specific questions. So in this case, let's just role play. I will say, what is this about? And they can say something like, well, this is a nice lady who started a floral boutique and we're doing a regional spot for her. Okay, good. That's great. So are we looking for somewhat of like a poppy natural look just to be on the safe side? Or are we looking for a warm, welcoming, soft sort of look? And then they can just go, interesting. Can we look at a few examples? And that's exactly what you're looking for. So that is the start, okay, to that dialogue. The second step is going to be, you're gonna go and resolve, you're gonna cook up these looks super fast. We're not getting into our secondaries, power windows, or anything like that, custom curves. We're just taking our vision, putting it on screen so the client can view it, and then we can start a dialogue, meaning, hey, I like both of these looks, can we split the difference? Or I like the natural look, but can we add more color to it? Or I like the warm look, but can we, maybe go easy on the red and just add more yellow? Whatever it is, so you want to get these looks as fast as possible to your client so you can get the dialogue going, all right? And now I want to take a second to tell you guys that go check out this free training. You absolutely have to commit to nothing other than your time, which will be about 1 hour. And this is what you're going to be learning, okay? We're going to be going through everything from conform, which is a process how to get your footage in and out of resolve. I'm going to show you a proper notary structure, and we're going to talk about how to get the most out of your 8-bit footage, a quickest way to balance any footage, unsalvageable footage, whatever you got. The skin tones, how to work with different types of skin tones, and how to nail your skin tones every time. Shot matching basics, something that we don't really cover on this channel, so you're going to get that in that free training. And then tons and tons of Q&A. These questions came straight from you guys, so I'm going to be answering those here. And then finally, you're going to be getting some power grades, some practice footage, and LUTs by me. So all of that is included in this free training. Go check it out right now. And if you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more awesomeness. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, and let's roll the intro. All right, so we already talked to our client. We know exactly what we need to do. This footage is from Pocket 6K shot in Rec. 709, okay? So we got our work cut out for us. Not only that we're creating two completely different looks, we're working with Rec. 709. No problem, we'll get it done. I'm gonna start off with the creative look first, and then we're gonna move on to the more of a safe/natural look, okay? This is going to be a simple one-node notary. The idea is to get the look done as soon as possible so we can let our client look at it and then give us their 2 cents, and we can move on to the next stage, okay? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm looking at this shot. This is my hero frame. I'm going to start off with pumping in some contrast, okay? So just a simple contrast slider. We're not going to get fancy with any of the custom curves or anything like that. We're going to do that once they approve the look. So let's just go ahead and start pumping in some contrast, not too much. I'm going to go too far and then pull back because for my creative look, it still needs to be sort of like a dreamy, happy, warm, fuzzy look. Okay, that's what we're going for. So I think a contrast like this could just do the trick. I'm going to leave it somewhere around here. I think this is good. And at this point, what I want to do is pull some of the saturation out of my highlights. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is go under your HDR palette, and then this section right here under light, I'm going to go in saturation and pull it back, and just keep pulling it back, and then see if I go too far, then bring it back and leave it somewhere around here. So this cleans up our image quite a bit, and that's going to come in handy, especially when we start injecting tons of warmth into our image. Okay. And that step is now. So what needs to happen here to create a look DNA is I'm going to be using my offsets. They're also called printer lights. If you go under your color, you can activate the printer light hotkeys, and then you can hit these buttons to add or subtract certain colors. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to be commentating over what's happening so you know what I'm changing. Okay. So first thing that we want to do is let's just start with adding some red into our image. So something like that is good enough for a starter. And now what I want to do is I want to pump in some yellow because I'm going after that gold color. All right. Like that's what I'm after. I'm going to pull some of the green out of my image. I'm going to go too far and then pull it back. And now I'm just going to add a little bit more cyan. And even if I park it, say somewhere around here is pushed enough, like if I go before and after, and yet it's still very natural. But let's just exaggerate it a little bit, okay? That's the whole point of like creating a fun look. So I'm gonna go under my gain now. I'm gonna work on a granular level. I'm gonna go under my gain. I'm gonna start adding more warmth. And then I'm going to add a little bit more red into my highlights, right? Like, so obviously go too far and then kind of pull it back. So even something like this. And now if I do before and after, see like how we started to create this really inviting warm look. So to break the monotony of the same color, you know, in the entire image, I'm focusing on the dark areas right here. And I'm going to add a little bit cool tones into my shadows by using my lift. So just keep your eye right here in this area. Okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to add a little bit of cyan to counter all that warmth that we're adding. So go too far and obviously then pull it back. And basically this is just a suggestion. You know what I mean? Like this is not like, we're not creating a dual tone image. This is literally a suggestion. Just like pull it back a little bit, just a tiny bit, and that's about it. So now if I do before and after, you can see that we're creating a very interesting look. Like if you look at our vector scope, we have successfully taken our image that had like all sorts of colors and created a image that only has warm tones, like it's living in this top left quadrant. Okay, so I am very happy with this. Like if we go around and look at our entire image, I'm very satisfied to where everything is. Yes, it's a stylized look. I like it. What else can we do? Can I go back into my offsets and subtract a little bit more green and maybe go in this direction a little bit? I don't think it's a bad idea. I feel like the skin tones start to look better. So I personally think that this might even be a better choice. So now if we go back to our hero frame, which was 322, and park it right here, I get it, right? It's extreme, but that's exactly what I wanted. And if we look at our image right here, overall image, it's really nice and warm. I mean, we can keep pushing our highlights if we want, but I feel like genuinely we created something really nice. We can go to our lift now and then again, kind of cool off our shadows, not too much, and see if that creates a bit more interest. But once again, see, like my whole idea with this look is to keep it warm and keep it interesting, like not to inject too many colors in here. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to add a little bit more magenta on the low end. And if I leave it somewhere around here, and once again, just kind of go back and forth, I think it looks very believable, extremely believable. And it's a nice warm look that is going to get a dialogue started. And then we can decide, what do we want to do? Do we want to pump more color in? Do we want to go a little bit more on the warm side and not so much like, say, on a magenta side? Because again, if now I go in and add a little bit, maybe more warmth, and like keep our image to say something like in this world instead of where it was, it's a little bit more dreamy. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little bit more dreamy. I actually prefer this. So I'm just going to go ahead, delete this, and then let's save this still. So this is going to be our warm look. And now I'm going to create a new version. I'm going to get rid of this. And here, what we want to do is, again, let's start off with the contrast. This is going to be our quote unquote safe natural look. So I'm going to keep the contrast somewhere around here, and there's way too much green in our image and yellow. So let's start subtracting yellow. Keep an eye right here, what I'm doing, and also right here, what's happening in our parade. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start subtracting tons and tons of green and yellow. Okay, so as soon as I do that, look where everything is sitting. Look at our reds and greens, right? So like now everything is where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna go into my saturation. I'm gonna crank it somewhere around 65-ish and pull it back maybe a little bit, something like this. And if I do before and after, just look at it. So if I hover over her skin, you know, this is the skin indicator. Let's see where her skin is sitting. So if I go and hover over her skin is sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. Like, check it out. It's like exactly where it's supposed to be. And we just did that with a couple of clicks. All right. So then this could be our, like, look at it. It looks great. And then this could be our poppy natural / safe look. And then this is what we created, which is more moody, kind of out there, but I'm a huge fan of it. So what we want to do at this point is I'm going to just do one thing. So this is our second, which there's nothing there. So I'm going to delete this version because there's literally nothing there. So this is our warm look. This is our natural / poppy look. I'm going to go ahead and split them, and let's just look at, let's just start with 2 versions first. So that's what we created for our client. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that. So this is the stylized warm look. This is our natural look. And yes, I mean, this is a really good look and all the colors pop, blah, blah, blah. But again, this is what creates the mood, right? And then the client can come in and suggest something like, I'm just kind of coming up with that, right? So the client can look at these two and go, okay, I really like what you're doing with this, but maybe we work on our contrast and pull our blacks down. And then we can just go in here and start bringing our blacks down a little bit, go back and split it and be like, okay, what are you thinking? Like maybe something like this, you want to bring it down more. What do you want to do? I personally like where it was just because it lets the image breathe, right? So that's the part that I liked about it. So I can just go back to maybe something like that and split the difference and just keep it here. And another thing that we can do is we can go under our log wheels. And if I go here and look at our scopes, right here, we can go under our log wheels under shadow and clean it up a little bit. So I can pull my red down a little bit, not too much. I can pull my green down a little bit. And now just by doing that, we cleaned up our black points a little bit. We still don't want to bring it down all the way at the bottom because that's going to interfere with the look that we're trying to create. And now if we go between the two, these are the looks that we ended up with. And guys, I was kind of taking you through my process and thinking out loud, but when you're going to be creating this, it's going to happen super quick. And that's the way that you want to approach this. So at the end, what you would do is you'll go ahead and grab a still on this as well. And then you'll go ahead and grab a still here. And basically, these are the 3 stills that you're going to grab, right click, and then export. And that's what you're going to send to your client. And then the next step to this entire process is called the lookbook. And how to present it, how to create it, all that is covered in my actual masterclass. One last thing that I would do with the creative version of it is to bring down the exposure close to what we see here, okay? So I'll literally just do split screen. And now we have our safer version on the other side. And all I want to do is I want to go under my lift gamma gain and I want to pull my gamma down a little bit. Not too much, something like this. And then I want to take my gain and pull it down too. I'm just looking at the bricks in the back right here. I want to protect them as much as possible. So bring it back where they're looking natural. And then the rest might just stay where it is. But like, see, even just doing something like this, I feel like we got a bit more saturation out of our image and everything feels like it belongs. Because if I show you the previous version that we had to the new version, I just feel like the exposure feels right. Once again, going back and forth between these 2 versions now, they're a lot closer. They still have their own characteristic. This one has really nice, soft custom curve as a film would. And then this one is a bit more on the digital side, but still has really nice colors and its own personality. So This would be something that I would experiment with. I would even take my lift right now and just pull it down a little bit just to kind of, again, see what I like. And if I were to compare it with the previous version that we thought was pretty good to the new version, personally, I feel like bringing the highlights down just enough where everything is protected is never a bad idea. And once again, when we go between these two versions, it does actually look pretty nice. And now that we're looking at making all these other changes, one thing that I want to see is lift up our gamma a little bit, pull our lift down just a tiny bit, and now I want to put some color back in there. So I'm just going to go under my saturation, crank it too much, and then pull it back, and then see, okay, where do I want to kind of keep it? So even just like this much color, and we're at 57 instead of 50. And if I go between these two versions, like now they're starting to have a really different type of personality. So this is before, right, that we created. And then this is a new version that we want to present to our client. And if you look at how much more detail that came through, even in the sky, like before and after, like right here, the plant, right? Like how it's just coming to life, her skin, same thing. The hair is looking so beautiful. And then if I were to do a split screen and look at the two versions, I feel like they're a lot closer in terms of the overall contrast and exposure, yet they both have their own personalities. So now let's check out the final look in full screen. So personally, I love doing tutorials like these because this is the closest thing to real world scenarios. So hopefully there was a lot that you took from this. Take notes, go back, watch it again. Do not forget to check out the free training. Link is up top and in the description below. I promise you, best 1 hour you will spend this year learning color grading. And on that note, if you're enjoying the content, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more awesomeness. If you have any suggestions, drop them in the comment section below. I'm always looking for new ideas to do these tutorials on, and work hard, get obsessed, get possessed. I will see you guys in the next video.